Okay, here we are, part 2. Let's finish up the story. I said that I had just broken up with my ex the next day after surrendering my life to Christ because truly the Lord was able to infuse within me every weakness that I'd had before Him. He obliterated as soon as I said yes to Jesus. And it was night and day. And I had been in college. I had chased love. I chased the feeling of being loved. I chased the desire to be loved. And in that second, in that moment when I said yes to Christ, the Father's love filled me so completely. It was like in every part of my body. Every part of my body was just touched. Every cell, every organ. And I knew the Lord's love instantly. And everything I'd been chasing for all those years, God answered that in a second, in a heartbeat. And He gave me everything I'd ever wanted, which was to be loved and to be known and to be loved for who I was. And that's what God did for me at 2 a.m. Watch my last video if you're interested in the whole story. But all that to say, I think I have a very strong heart for people knowing that it doesn't matter where you came from, that God will use anybody, and that He doesn't discriminate against your background, against the schooling you did or didn't have. He doesn't discriminate against where you came, where you were born, who you were born into, whose family you were born into. He doesn't. There's nothing that about who you are that God discriminates against. The only thing He's looking for is, will you give me your heart and your life? And I can use you for anything. And that's what He wants, is He wants to be able to take us and use us for His purpose that He has for us. And that verse in Jeremiah 29:11 where it says that God has good plans for us and a purpose for us and a wonderful life that He wants to give us or wants to make from our lives, that's because He can promise that because He's after us giving our lives to Him. And then He gives us that wonderful purpose and wonderful life. He has good things planned for us. And so my life story is just, it began by saying, yes, you have everything and you can do whatever you will in my life, because I don't want mediocre Christianity. I don't want something lukewarm. I've seen what that does. I've seen how people live that way, and there's no victory in that. There's no power in that. There's no resurrected life in living lukewarm. Which is why God says, I wish that you were either hot or cold. Because lukewarm is this level of apathy where you think that you're living for Christ, but nothing in your life reflects that. And so I came on to say that it doesn't matter where you came from. Doesn't matter what your background is. Doesn't matter who your family is. Doesn't matter who your friends were. None of it matters. Doesn't matter what house you grew up in. Doesn't matter what you wish your house was when you were growing up. All that matters is that you say, yes, Lord, you and you alone. And here's my life. And I give it all to you. Now my kids are starting to sing, which I'm pretty sure means that we're getting close to dinner time. So, and it's getting dark. Part 2, you saw part 1. But be blessed and just know that no matter what is in your past, God can use it and turn it for His good and for His glory if you give it to Him. Amen.